Hello, everyone. Coach Tiffany here. I haven't been quite as consistent with these Facebook Live videos, but I really want to start speaking to you from my heart. So I'm going to try to do it on Tuesdays, but I'm going to be getting on whenever I'm inspired to do that. Yesterday, I was really fired up and wanted to get on, and I was like, no, I'm going to get on tomorrow. Anyway, I'm realizing that it doesn't really matter when I get on here. You guys can watch the replay, and I want to really let you know what's happening in the world, the diet industry, so that you can be free of all of the harm that is coming from that. That's part of my mission, is to spread the word that there is a different way. There is a way of freedom and balance and satisfaction in your relationship with food through intuitive eating. Hey, Robin, how are you? Thanks for hopping on. So, today I'm talking about the diet industry is lying to you. And I was talking with my awesome virtual assistant yesterday, and we were talking about why I'm so passionate about this work. And it's because I see how much harm that these lies are costing us. So the diet industry profits $166 billion a year off of us believing that we are broken, that we are just emotional overeaters, that we can't be trusted with food, and that we aren't good enough if we don't weigh a certain amount or fit into a certain size or if our body doesn't look a certain way, right? So that's the lie that the diet industry is selling. They're selling their product. And I think of diets as like this box, right? So we're trying to get in, squeeze into this little box, and we're trying to stay contained and control our food intake and struggle and do all of these shoulds and like listen to what they're saying about what we should or shouldn't eat. Unfortunately, that box isn't designed for us, and it doesn't shift depending on the day, right? So our needs are different. Each person's needs are different based on your biology, based on your genes, based on what's happening in that moment. So not only are you're different biologically different than each person, right? You're also different each day. So maybe you didn't get enough sleep last night. Your body's going to want more carbohydrates today. Maybe you had surgery and you're healing. Your body needs different nutrients for that, right? Maybe you're a mom and you're, having to chase children around, or you're breastfeeding. Maybe you are simply going through a phase in your life where you are, you've shifted. Maybe you're sitting more or you're moving more or whatever is happening, right? So basically diets try to keep us in this little box, and it doesn't work. Eventually our body's like, no, we need these other things. It actually causes an increased desire for food. So we've known this since the 1940s. They did a study so some men objected to the war. They were called the conscious objectors, and they stayed here. And so those men still needed to participate somehow, but they weren't going to war. So they did studies on them. And they did this study where they restricted the men's calories down to about 1,750 a day. Now, most of the women I know have done diets that were way more restrictive than that. But just restricting down to 1,750 a day, the men lost weight, and they became so obsessed with food. These are 20-year-old men in the 40s. They started collecting cookbooks and recipes and talking about food incessantly. They were totally obsessed. Some of the men snuck out and went to the grocery store and stole food and binged on it. So these are normal, healthy 20-year-old men restricting down to only 1,700 calories. A lot of women I know go on $1,200 calorie diets, right? Anyway, the point of this is that diets actually cause an increase in desire for food. Your body's hunger signals actually increase. So the hormones that tell you you're hungry increase, and the hormones that tell you you're full decrease. So it causes an increased desire for food. It also causes you to lose muscle mass and slow down your metabolism. So that after you're done with the diet, when that increased desire for food overcomes you and you break out of the box and you eat all the things, you're actually, even if you ate the same amount of calories you were eating before you started, you're actually not able to burn that many calories anymore. So studies show this, the research shows this and backs it up. So the diet industry is selling us a lie that diets do work and that we're just not doing them right? That we don't have willpower. They're not accounting for our actual physiology. And They're not accounting for the fact that this box isn't, it's one size fits all. It's not designed for us, right? So unfortunately, we're told you're broken and you don't have enough willpower and there's something wrong with you. And we are given this weight, right, from them, right? Where this weight is put on us, this mental and emotional drain is put on us. And we're told that we're not good enough, that if we don't look a certain way, we're not good enough. And unfortunately, it erodes our trust in ourselves, and it causes us to not have the self-esteem that we deserve, and it's disempowering. So it takes away our power, and it erodes our ability to know that we do know what we need and that we can be trusted with food, right? So that message, that lie, costs us a lot more than $166 billion a year. It actually costs us our self-esteem and our power. And what we need right now is women who are empowered, women who are leaders and who are able to stand in their power and who have the stamina and the energy that they need to work their magic in the world. We need that. So my message and my mission is that it is possible to heal your relationship with food, to heal your relationship with your body, to rebuild that trust, to start to exercise those muscles, and to have that freedom. So I'm not just talking about freedom from obsessing about food. I mean, that's really powerful. But I'm also talking about freedom from that lie, freedom from that box, and freedom from shame, freedom from that idea that we're not good enough, because you are good enough just as you are right now. You are powerful, you are trustworthy. It's just building that practice and that habit. So anyways, obviously I love intuitive eating. The diet industry, I feel like, is so harmful. And unfortunately, the healthcare industry, nurses and doctors and clinics and hospitals, we perpetuate these harmful messages. And so I'm going to be writing some blogs and doing some videos on how you might be getting the wrong message from your healthcare provider, and how your relationship with food can be salvaged by taking back the control and starting to really get connected with your body through intuitive eating principles. So intuitive eating is a model for relating to food differently, and it is very much anti-diet, but it is more pro body trust than anything else. And so I want to spread this message that you know that there is something else that's possible. I think Robin's still on here. I said my message a lot faster than I expected. Please drop a comment if any of this resonates with you. If anybody else is watching live or on the replay, please say hello, drop a comment. And we're here in the Deserving Women group. I really want more women to get this message, as many women as possible, and men too. But in the Deserving Women group, we're a woman-only group at this point, because we're a female identified group, because I really want to create a safe space. And we talked about the idea of having men in the group, but right now I want to keep this container to women. Robin's giving me hearts. Thank you very much. So please invite your friends to the group. Please share a link to the group in your Facebook feed if you feel like this is helpful, if you believe that other people should be getting the same message and of empowerment and body trust. And if you're not on my email list, private message me. Most of you are, but not everyone. I do send out blogs regularly. I post them in the group sometimes as well. But this month I'm going to be writing a lot of blogs about how the diet industry is harming us and is lying to us, about how the real weight that we need to shed is the weight of all of those messages, that cultural conditioning that we are not good enough, about how our doctors and our nurse practitioners and our nurses and our healthcare providers that we trust are telling us that we're unhealthy if we weigh a certain amount, but BMI is actually not the best indicator of health. And it wasn't really designed as an indicator for health. It was just to categorize people for the purpose of studies. When we focus on weight in the healthcare world, it actually perpetuates the diet cycle and causes people to gain weight over time and not lose weight. Because as I mentioned, diets don't work. They actually fail most of the time. Most people, like at least 80% of people, gain back all of the weight, and many of them gain back all the weight plus. Over the long haul, when we look at research studies, yes, people lose weight on diets, which is why we think that they work, but then they gain weight. And the earlier you start dieting and the more you diet, it actually has a positive association with increased weight gain over time. So you're much more likely to gain weight over the long haul if you're dieting than if you don't. And weight cycling, that yo-yo dieting, gaining weight, gaining weight, losing weight, is actually more harmful to your health than being at a higher BMI. So the healthcare industry perpetuates this. We focus on weight when we should be focusing on health promoting activities and health interventions rather than weight. So I'm going to be talking about those things a lot because I think people really need to know that these are the messages that we're receiving. This is why people believe that diets work, and this is why people believe that there's something wrong with them, that they can't do a diet right, and that it doesn't work for them, right? And it's why we think that we can't be trusted with food, and it's why we think that we're not good enough just as we are. So I'm going to be shining a big old spotlight on all of these things in the upcoming weeks. Most of this is going to be in the Deserving Women group because I really appreciate all of you guys being here and your participation and your hearts and your cheerleading. So please invite people to the group and spread the message about the group so that I can share these, share these insights with as many people as possible, because that is the thing that's going to help you heal your relationship with food, is like understanding that the diet industry is harmful. It's actually the first principle of intuitive eating, is to reject the diet mentality. Unfortunately, it's really pervasive and it's really hard to break out of that cycle or that thinking. Even when we're not dieting, we have the food police that's like, oh, you shouldn't eat carbs and the cookie's going to make me fat, and right, these things, right? All these shoulds around food. And a lot of times they're conflicting, so that makes it even more challenging and more confusing, right? Because you might be thinking, oh, I shouldn't eat a lot of carbs, then, oh, I shouldn't eat a lot of fat, right? And then, well, and it gets down to like, what do you actually eat? Just kale, right? Which actually I love kale and it's delicious. And even though I do intuitive eating, I still eat kale because I like it. But the point is that we have all of these shoulds around food and around how we look. And we do all of these things, like we don't buy ourselves clothes that fit because we think we should be a smaller size. Or we get on the scale regularly and we beat ourselves up because it doesn't say what we think it should say. So I actually was weighing myself about once a week out of curiosity. So since I've been doing intuitive eating, I initially actually dropped some weight, which is not everyone's story, but I lost a little weight. And then I have easily maintained my weight since then. This is the first time in my life I've maintained my weight without doing anything in particular, like without having to worry about it or think about it too much. So I was mostly doing it out of curiosity. But what I was noticing is that I have a workshop that I'm giving tonight. If you're in Southeast Portland, it's at Bold and Badass at 6:30. I would love to see you there. And I'm actually going to be giving the workshop on December 17th online as well. That's next Monday. So please think about coming. But side note, that's a side note. I was finding myself weighing myself like before events. And I realized that I was still caught up a little bit in that diet mentality of checking to see like if I was maintaining my weight. Was that there's a comment I'm going to get to in a second, but if I wasn't maintaining my weight, if the scale said something else, then I would feel bad, right? But our weight fluctuates. So anyway, I moved my scales to the garage and I haven't been weighing myself at all. I know that I'm still pretty much maintaining my weight because my clothes fit about the same. And it's just nice for me to have that reinforcement that yes, intuitive eating is working for me. I'm not gaining weight by eating what I want, right? But the point of this, I'm sharing kind of a vulnerable story. The point of this is that even for me, an intuitive eating certified counselor, and a nurse and someone who totally believes wholeheartedly in intuitive eating and practices it in my own life, and I teach it, it still sneaks in, right, in these little ways. So the diet mentality, diet industry, the diet culture, that is so pervasive. And so I'm going to be talking about how it's harmful. And in the workshop, I'm going to be talking about the core aspects of intuitive eating and really how to start applying these principles to our lives so that you can start to heal your relationship with food so that you never have to put lose weight on your New Year's resolutions list ever again. So that you never ever have to go on a diet again. So that you can finally stop obsessing about food and you can break free and have freedom from that shame about what you ate last night or how you ate last night or what the scale says, right? We can finally start to trust and love and respect our bodies. Oh, so Robin's saying she had a crap day at work and totally failed to stick to my less sugar plan today. I was standing in the shop for lunch a very long time and realized I had no idea what was healthy, so I picked refined carbs again. I really needed this message because you were feeling guilty. Yeah, right. So we have this, oh man, we have these all these shoulds around food, and then it gets really hard because real life happens and you're somewhere and and there's like bagels and that's it, or that's the only thing that sounds good. Like the veggies are like mushy and overcooked or something, or whatever happens, and we don't really have access. Or we get in a place where our bodies are causing us to crave refined carbs, right? So increased stress, lack of sleep, for whatever reason, our body's giving us the message we need carbs because our body's just like, we need fuel, right? So then we end up eating whatever it is, potato chips, I don't know. And then we beat ourselves up. But beating ourselves up actually just adds to that stress, right? So that shame actually just keeps us in that cycle because it tells us we're not good enough, and we can't be trusted, and then we need a diet, right, to fix us. But the diet's never going to fix us. We're going to just have that same cycle happen because the more we restrict, the more it increases our desire for food. The more we're more likely to, when we break out of that box, like eat like a wild woman. So yeah, so I totally relate, Robin, and the crap day at work. So when we remove judgment and shame, we can zoom out and you can be like, oh, I had a crap day at work and I didn't really have like something prepared or planned, and I got over hungry, right? And my stress was causing me to crave these things. So no wonder I ate that, right? So then we can start to look at what can we do to counterbalance that. So what can I do to address my stress? One great simple question is, how do I feel? What do I need? I feel stressed. I need a break. I need to do some deep breathing. I need to have a day off, right? I need to be gentle with myself. I need a hug, whatever it is, right? How do I feel? What do I need? So when we can address those needs instead, then our desire for the carbs or whatever is just going to be like normal again, right? And so, and also whatever you ate, like that's not ultimately recognizing like whatever I ate, that's not ultimately going to cause me to whatever, be fat, be unhealthy, right? These things. Instead, it's just a blip. I ate that thing and today I'm going to eat something else, right? So it's overall, if we are putting nutrition into our bodies, we'll start to feel better, right? So looking at the big picture rather than like beating ourselves up over this one food choice, and allowing that food, because now you won't necessarily have that like food or forbidden fruit. So when those things aren't allowed, then we actually have an increased desire for them. The forbidden fruit phenomenon is real. It's been studied and proven. When they restricted sugar, when they restricted rats from having sugar, the rats ate sugar in a way that was seemed out of control. When they didn't restrict them, the rats didn't really care about the sugar. So going back to the conscious objectors, those men, when they restricted the food, the men got like super obsessed about food. So we never want to do restrictive eating. And we want to instead remove judgment, remove shame, and look at things with a lens of curiosity. So, like, what happened leading up to that, rather than feeling guilty, using it as a learning opportunity, and noticing how you were feeling, right? And then after you eat the thing, how do I feel? So, I was sharing this story with my virtual assistant. I got, so, so I'm gluten free and egg free because I have an autoimmune condition and I have an intolerance to those things. And when I eat those things, it makes my body hurt really bad. So I don't consider it restrictive eating. For me, those foods just aren't worth it. One of the things that's really challenging when you're gluten free and egg free is finding a cookie that actually tastes as good as real cookies, right? So I, especially around Christmas time, sometimes feel a little deprived, even though I'm not eating restrictively because I should or it's a diet. It's still, not quite the same to have a gluten-free cookie. Anyways, I was at a networking event the other day. This woman, Casey, is selling cookie dough, edible cookie dough, and she made a gluten-free vegan option. And so I bought that cookie dough, and I was in a lot of pain the other day. My autoimmune condition was flaring up, and so I asked him to make me some cookies, and he made them, and they were really big. So I think I ate like, I don't know, 3.5 cookies or something, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it was actually a lot. And I wasn't really hungry. So part of intuitive eating is paying attention to our hunger and fullness signals. And I ate the cookies, and I didn't beat myself up about it, and I didn't feel guilty about it, but I did notice, like, okay, I had been feeling deprived of cookies, and my pain was up. And when my pain is up, a lot of times, I have an increased desire for food. So afterwards, though, I didn't feel great. Like my stomach felt gross. I felt kind of gross, and I felt sleepy. So I just made a note, like, how do I feel right now? Would I choose to feel this way again? No, actually. So last night I didn't have any cookies, even though there's some left over. And I'm gonna eat the cookies again. And because I've given myself permission to eat those cookies, I don't have this like I have to eat them all or I have to finish them off because I'm not going to be allowed to have them tomorrow or any of that, right? I could just decide, do I really want that? And I didn't. I did not want to feel that way again. And not that there's anything wrong with her cookies. It was just, eating sugar when I wasn't really hungry and, eating that many, right? So anyway, now I'm rambling. The point is that when we can let go of judgment and shame around it, we can look at the circumstances and start to eat in a way that supports feeling good rather than worrying about what we should or shouldn't eat and beating ourselves up, because that actually perpetuates the cycle and makes us want those foods even more. So I hope today has been helpful. I hope that knowing that the diet industry is lying to you and that you're not broken and it's not your fault, there's nothing wrong with you. Diets actually just don't work. I hope that that helps you to start to look at what does work for your body and start to treat yourself with more kindness and compassion and start to let go of that judgment and that shame. Again, invite your friends to the Deserving Women group. I want this to be a thriving community. The women in here are amazing. You guys are great cheerleaders for each other. I love that you are willing to be so vulnerable in the group, and I just want to grow this community so that I can spread this message to as many women as possible. All right, guys, I hope that you have an amazing day, and I will be on here. I'll try to be on here most Tuesdays. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.